Lecture by CYC Chen Cynthia. You can pause anytime you need. 你可以随时按下暂停键。Before we start to color our watercolor, let's see our tools. You need to have the watercolor brush, like huge, big, medium, and small. And make sure the watercolor brush is very soft. Okay? If you choose the watercolor brush like the grass, it is not the watercolor brush. It's just the painting brush for oil painting and the acrylic. So make sure your watercolor brush is soft. So that's for the watercolor. Okay? With different sizes. Alright? Then we need to have the napkin or the towel to dry our water brush because we are going to use a cool water to mix the color and wash the brushes. Alright, so make sure the water is no temperatures, has to be very, very cool. Alright, then you need to have your watercolor. So you can have your watercolor like this tray. So sometimes it looks big, sometimes it looks small, or you will see your watercolor pen like the tube, like this. Alright, so whatever it looks like a tray or like the tube, it's okay. And you need to have a tray for what? To mixing the color on top of the tray. Alright, so that's it. Do you get every single thing on the screens? If you do, make sure they are all on the set. Then we can begin to color. Okay, so before we move on to do the coloring for your fashion design, you have to double check the following. Okay, I'm looking for the detail. All right, so let's see the tops. Okay, I divide my top become short and the fashion t-shirts. Okay, so if you have the buttons, make sure you have the line in between the buttons, so which means it can be opened. All right, and do you have the tag inside the shorts? All right, a sewing line, the sewing line for the pocket if you have, the wrinkle. Okay, so that's for the tops. All right, and the skirt. If you have the skirt, if you want to show the skirt is soft, like something like cotton, silk, something very like the soft fabric, make sure the line is waving at the bottom and we can see the wrinkle. So we know that is the soft skirt. Alright? But if you have the A-link skirt, so the fabric will be a little bit thicker or harder, then you don't have to do the wrinkle. Alright? And let's see the pants. Alright. So as the skirt, you might need to have the tag. Alright? Everyone got the tag on their shorts and their top and the bottom. Alright, and my skirt has the zipper, but my short has the buttons, and I have to have the space to put the belt, the sewing line, and the pocket, wrinkle, and the folding area. Okay, if you have the pen like the yoga pants, then it might not have that much detail, like we might not have the pockets or something, right? We don't have the buttons or the zippers, but we do have the sewing line. And the shape should look like the leg, right? The shape looks like the leg. Okay, check that one out. Okay, that's our accessory, so that will be our shoes. Okay, so that's the boots. So the boots is with the fur inside, so that's the one, like the Ugg, that brand with the short boot and there has the feather inside, and that's the boot for the fashion lady. And I add in the zippers right there, and all the shoes has the base, right? We have the sun face on the top, but we have the base at the bottom. And the shoe, do you remember to add in the shoe type? Sewing line, if you have some decoration on top, and the high heel, you might see the line inside, right? The heel at the bottom, we have the base as well. Okay, and I see some of you doing the socks. Okay, so the sock should be soft and bouncing, right? So don't forget to add in the bouncing line on the top. And it has the thickness, so we can put the feet in it. So I add in the line. And if you have the hat, same thing. Everything has the thickness. Okay, so I double line on it. The sewing line as well. On the top, we have the small buttons on it. All right, so let's take a look. Do you cover all the detail that we require? And about the bag, we practiced like 2 months ago, and I required for the detail for the bag. So check the feedback that from last time. Okay, I'm looking for the detail, and we're going to show you different texture for your fashion. I'm gonna show you the denim, so that could be applied for the jean, right? Or something shiny like leather, or the silks fabrics is very, very shiny. So I'm going to teach you about that, and the fur or the knit like the sweater. All right, so let's take a few minutes to see do you cover all the detail. Then we will move on to do the coloring. Before we start to color our watercolor, let's see our tools. You need to have the watercolor brush, like huge, big, medium, and small. And make sure the watercolor brush is very soft, okay? If you choose the watercolor brush like the grass, it is not the watercolor brush. It's just the painting brush for oil painting and the acrylic. So make sure your watercolor brush is soft. So that's for the watercolor, okay, with different sizes. All right, then we need to have the napkin or the towel to dry our water brush, because we are going to use a cool water to mix the color and wash the brushes. All right, so make sure the water is no temperatures, has to be very, very cool. All right, then you need to have your watercolor. So you can have your watercolor like this tray. So sometimes it looks big, sometimes it looks small, or you will see your watercolor pen like the tube, like this. All right, so whatever it looks like a tray or like the tube, it's okay. And you need to have a tray for what? To mixing the color on top of the tray. All right, so that's it. Do you get every single thing on the screens? If you do, make sure they are all on the set. Then we can begin to color. All right, so what kind of color you are using, we are going to color the base color. Okay, so you don't have to color the same color as I do. You can choose any colors. All right, so just choose the color you like, but make sure it's very watery. Okay, so you can see the colors under. So we just color the base color. Don't worry about dark, medium, and light for now. Just color very quick which part which color. So I want the pockets has different colors, so I have to skip over. Don't cross the colors. Okay, see, very, very light. You barely to see it. Okay, super bright. All right, so I'm gonna use a little bit rich color. So I keep the same color, but I apply even more paint. Okay, now it becomes rich. So which means water will be least. All right, so everywhere has the wrinkle. Everywhere has the wrinkle. You have to apply the rich color. Okay, everywhere has the wrinkle. Inside as well. Okay, I wash my brush a little bit because here the color is not blending. So I wash my brush, dry my brush, and paint around. So make the color blurred. Okay, so this is our base color. All right, so same thing, the same knowledge. All right, so I'm gonna use different colors so you can see. Let me use the purple, blue, purple. All right, so I'm gonna color the skirt. Same thing, I'm gonna color everywhere. That is the color I want. See, I cross the color. This is the base color. So I have to do it a little bit quick because I want the color blend in. So I have to color my first color quick so I can mix the second color before it is dry. Okay, so same thing, I'm gonna make the color a little bit more rich but keep the same color. Again, I'm gonna color everywhere with the wrinkle. Everywhere with the wrinkle. See, it's blurred. Okay, then inside should be slightly darker. All right, so now you have the basic idea. Okay, we have to have two colors on the base. Okay, so the first layer has to be very watery. The second layer will be a little bit rich. But when you apply the second layer, you have to make sure your first layer is still wet. Okay, if the first layer is dry already, you have to wash your brush, release the water. Okay, make sure there's not too much water. Release the water and brush around to blend the shadow color. All right, okay, so now you can begin. Even the shoes, even your accessory. Okay. Alright, so let's see. I finished all the base color and I do apply the second layer with the richer colors on the wrinkle, and sometimes I will do it on the sewing light, okay, around the shape to make this looks like pops up like 3D. Okay, even I do that on my shoes, on my boots. Okay, and even my accessory is very small, but I do remember to color with different color for my small area. Even the base, I have 2 color for my base, and the pocket I use different colors. All right, so hopefully you can be patient to complete all the small items. All right, so now we have to wait it's totally dry. So before it's dry, you can clean out your tray or change the water, because when we do the third layers, it will be the textures and that will be the final. Okay, so we have to make sure the water and the tray is clean. All right. Okay, so before we do the textures, we have to add some shadow. All right, so we have to create the shadow first. So now you have to apply all the darkest color you have. Okay, let's see what I have. I have navy blue. Okay, I have red. All right, then I have my dark greens. Okay, so not primary color, yellow won't help. Okay, so just blue, navy blue, red, and green. All right, so let's mix them together. All right, so it becomes a little bit greenish gray, right? Now it's gray colors. Okay, All right, so we don't want the shadow goes too dark, so I'm gonna apply a little bit more water so it becomes a little bit watery. All right, so where are we gonna apply it? First, I will say inside the clothes. Okay, right there. So let's do it one at a time. So when I apply the shadow color on my fashion items, I can still see a slightly pink under my shadow. Okay, so when you apply the shadow, then you won't see the first layer you did, which means your shadow is too rich. You have to add even more water into the shadow. Okay, so make the shadow become more light. Okay, again, you have to apply the shadow color on our base color, but make sure that you still can see the base color. Okay, so we don't make the color go too dark and we can still see the items colors. All right, so that's it. I still can see the purple a little bit. Not too clear, but we can see. All right, inside the short. Okay, be careful because they are very small. All right, if you have the paint. See, I can still see some orange. But now I can see what part is inside, what part is outside, right? So the shadow color inside, and we can see the sun face is much brighter than inside, right? Inside, outside, inside, outside. So same thing for the shoes. All right, same thing for the shoes. How about the fluffy part? We only color at the middle. All right, even if you have the socks, inside the socks. All right, okay, so we're done with that. So we're gonna use the same shadow color to color on the wrinkle, especially if you have the skirt. Okay, but I have the sleeve looks like that, so let's do that here. I'm gonna do it very light, but again, I still can see the base color, right? The color is not going to be too dark on the wrinkle. Right, you can see some shadow, but they are not too drama or too rich. And right here on the skirt. Okay, under the skirt, inside part, right here. It has the inside part. Very slow. All right, and I'm gonna add in the shadow on the wrinkle on my short pocket. If I have the bell, then you have to add the shadow on each side of them. Okay, it looks like that. Okay, and the shadow for my yoga jeans. On the showing line. So make my pants looks more like 3D, not just like the sticker, right? And same thing I'm gonna do is on the hat. Okay, on the hat. Okay, so we finished the shadow on our clothes. Now we can learn how to do the texture. All right, so let me do this one by one at a time. Okay, so let's see, how can we do the texture for the jeans? All right, so see, I have the base color already. So you have to find a similar color, so which means you are not going to make the color too rich. Okay, so it has some texture, looks like this, the liner. So you have to add the line. Okay, add the lines. You don't have to do it too crazy. Okay, then cross. Okay, we leave some some space. Okay, so how do we apply this texture on our real product? Like this. Okay, let me find the similar colors. Okay, so same thing. Adding the line, very thin. We're supposed to have the denim textures. But see, I didn't apply the line everywhere, right? I leave some middle plants. I didn't apply everywhere. Then another direction. Some textures. It is very small. It also has some textures. Okay. All right. So that's the one. Now we have to do something shiny. Okay. So let's see the leather or the silk. So which means they have a very strong highlight and the shadow color. So we have to make the color a little bit rich because the highlight will be the base color you have. So it will just like that. Highlights. Wash your brush. Release the water. Blend in the colors. Then another strong highlight. Okay, so let's do it on my boots. Okay, so same thing. I'm gonna find the similar colors. Okay, a little bit darker. Okay, so remember the brightest color will be just the base color. Okay, I have to make the color go even darker. Like this. So you will have a very strong highlight and the middle colors. Okay, it will look like this. Alright, so I can even do it on my high heel, right? I use the red ones. So he has the highlights at the front. Alright, and the middle colors. So I have some highlight on the side as well. Then I have a very, very rich colors. The color at the bottom. Okay, so that makes it look okay. I know that some base shoes is something shiny, not something like the matte textures, like the fabrics or the sweater, right? Because it has the highlight and the dark shadow. Okay. So that is the shiny one. How about to do the fur? I know some of you want to do something like fluffy, right? So how can we do that? So we need to have a dried, the dry brushes. Okay, so this one, see, it's very dry. Okay, I didn't apply any. So now I color it. So let's see. You are going to do like this. Okay, so let's see. So depend how long you wanna do. You can have this short, you can have this long. So that's how to do the fur. Use the dry brush to do it. So which means you don't wash the brush before you apply the color. So keep the brush dry. Alright, so I didn't do it on my drawing. I don't have the sample, but I can do it very quick. Just like the pom-pom. Sometimes we will have the pom-pom on top of the heads, right? So how about we just do it on our head? So it looks like this. If you have something like the pom-pom on the head or on your back, you could look like this. Okay, so let me zoom in. So let's see. You have to do it very light around. Depend what color you want to use, right? so that is the fur textures. All right, how can we do the sweater? So we have to nail the liner, right? So which means we have to add lots of detail. All right, so let's see. How can I do it? You can do it, looks like this. I keep adding the small X. I know that's a lot, but that's a detail. Okay, so you have to keep doing it. You have to keep doing it. Okay, so if you have the X getting smaller, so which means the sweater is more neat. Okay, like this. If you have the X a little bit smaller, or you can say that's a heart shape. All right, it takes time, but you will see the quality. So we normally will apply that on the sweater or the socks. All right, so let's see. Too dark. I have to make sure it's watery. See, it's very neat. That's a detail. Okay, so what if you just have the t-shirt or just the shirt, you don't have that much texture on it, it will just look like that. But anyway, you can have some print. So what do I mean? If you have the print like the flowers, the patterns, you can apply this when the base color are totally dry. Okay, it can be like that. But you have to do the pattern after we finish the shadow, okay? So that would look like this. Or even you can have the two different colors. So let's see, I just add in the Greek. Be careful the hands. So I have to wait my orange are totally dry so I can use the second color to do the cross. But the idea will be the same. Even you can do that on the skirt or anywhere you want. Okay, even the shoes. Alright, so I think you understand what I am looking for. I'm looking for the detail and the texture that we learned for today. Alright, so don't be lazy. Try to do as much as you can. Alright, now you can start. Alright, so remember, this is your presentation board and you are the fashion designer. So find a spot to sign the name and write down the dates so no one can copy your work. And if you want to, you can even name your fashion design. Okay? Alright, so that's everything for today. When you complete your drawing, sign the name and write down the date. 完成画作之后，签下你的名字，跟写上日期。Don't forget to take a photo of your drawing and send it to us. 不要忘记帮你的作品拍上照片寄给我们哦。And don't forget to clean out the table before you go. 不要忘记清洁你的桌子哦。Bye bye, see you next time.